Hey, hey everyone. Hello there. It's Friday, and I'm so excited to be here with you today because we have a really, really good topic happening today. And I can't wait to share it with you because this is going to make a real big difference in your dating life. And we're just going to wait a second here. I so appreciate you all when you're watching this in a replay, waiting with us because people don't find it right away. So we already have three people, so we're gonna get started. Whoever's here, hi, so glad you're here. Um, Sorry, I'm coming on late. I had an internet issue happen, and it's really kind of funny. I have this very big metal glass, and I'm in my kitchen, and my internet is this way, and I think this was over that way, and I think it's blocking it. It blocked my internet because then I got internet when I moved it. It's a crazy thing. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here. And today we're going to be talking about how to stay a powerful woman and get the guy without giving yourself up. I know this is such a huge issue for so many women because what happens is they are afraid that if they don't show up super powerful in a relationship, they're going to end up being a doormat. And we don't want to be a doormat. We want to be seen as an equal in a relationship. But the problem is the way that you're coming into this and coming into a relationship can often be from your masculine side. And what ends up happening is when you're coming from your masculine side and you're taking charge of everything, you're not allowing a man to give to you. And a man really, if he's emotionally healthy, over 50, his goal really is to make your life easier. And the thing is when you are so independent and you say, I can do it when they offer to do something for you, because we kind of feel bad. Like we feel like, oh, we've had to be so strong. I want to show you I'm strong. I'm not needy. But what you're really saying to a man is, I don't need you. And what ends up happening then is you end up staying strong, staying independent, and still staying alone and single without without that guy in your life that you so want. So it's really, really important to understand that you need to get the cooperation of a man. So I want to share a little story with you. I had a client who was a very, very powerful CEO in her company, and she was in sales, and she was trying to seal a deal with a very powerful alpha male, and she knew that her company could really help them move forward. So she would go in to the appointments they had in her like man suit, the whole black suit with maybe a white top and maybe a little necklace. But basically, it was the same kind of suit a man would wear. And she would have her charts and everything else in her briefcase. And she was getting nowhere with this alpha male. Now, at the same time, she was working with me, and I was starting to teach her how to get the cooperation of men. Because if she wanted to find love, she had to come into her feminine side and she had to learn how to receive from a man. Because if she didn't, she was going to still be alone. So she later told me she nearly threw up when I shared how to do it with her. And um, it was funny because she said, I couldn't believe it. Like you're telling me all this stuff and I feel like a doormat. But it's not that way at all. It's going to give you a lot of power. So she went into this meeting the next day and she decided, I'm gonna do what Lisa taught me, and I'm gonna go into this business meeting and I'm gonna get this cooperation that she's talking about. So she went in much more feminine clothes, business appropriate. She shook his hand and she said, Bill, I really need your help. And within 10 minutes, they sealed the deal. And for the next 40, they talked. And he said to her at the end of the time they were talking, by that talking, she's building up between the two of them this connection. And by the end of that 40 minutes, he said to her, if you ever need anything, please let me know and I will help you. So, what my client did was she triggered the hero response in this man. Instead of coming in from her masculine push, 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 which is really what we were taught because we grew up in an age where we were taught, I am woman, let me roar. And it's great because we did come into things that we were never able to do before. And we're able to have businesses and be in powerful positions. But by doing it, we learned to step on men. And we were translating that into our dating lives too. And therefore, we weren't really able to attract, meet, and keep a man because when you show up from your masculine side, a man is not interested in you. He doesn't see you as a potential partner. He sees you as another male, a man who's going to keep, a man who's going to take care of themselves. And when my client went in and she said, I need your help, he suddenly said, great. She came from vulnerability. So when you come from vulnerability, you are not a doormat. You are coming from strength because you are actually asking for help from this male, from whatever male you're with. And that makes men want to be there for you. Men want to make your life easier. And we sometimes make that so difficult for them to do because we do not understand how to trigger this in a man. And then we end up going on dates, and sometimes men will say, oh my God, you are so controlling, or oh my God, you don't know how to let a man be a man. And you end up, if you don't understand this about a man, you end up staying alone. So, so many of my clients who end up successfully finding a man, they come back to me with two things that they always say are the biggest things that help them get the guy. The first one, I talk about it all the time, is a quality man template. A quality man template is your clear vision of the right man. And we're not going to talk about that today, but what the second biggest thing they say that helps them get the guy is understanding how a man ticks. And we covered the teeniest bit of it today for stepping up to be your hero by asking for help and saying what I call the 4 magic words, I need your help. And that triggers a man to say, I can make her life easier. The other thing I want you to understand is we want to come to the table as equals. But the problem is our equality strength is not the same. So a man comes from his physical strength and he also comes from his intelligence. You too are intelligent, but your strongest quality is your heart. And when we started to follow that I am woman, let me roar, and I'm going to step on men to get what I need, we lost our hearts. We went into our intelligence and our strength. Your heart, when you come to the table with your heart, that is when a man feels safe with you. When a man comes from his strength, which is why if you're 4'9" and you want a 6'2" man, the reason you want that is because that makes you feel safe. That is his strength that you're feeling safe about, just like your heart is the strength that he feels safe about. This is something that you also want to be able to trigger in your profile. You want to be able to trigger the hero response on dates. It's what's going to get you the guy. And so clients always say to me, they tell their boyfriends, I went to a dating coach and she taught me all this stuff about men. And the guy will always say, she's right. And I have men write me when I write about men and say, you're so right. Why don't women listen to you? And I was told by 2 men, you don't know how to let a man be a man. And that's what led me on this journey of learning to love men for who they are and learning to understand them because it was like magic. All of a sudden, I got my needs met. Whereas before, I got tremendous pushback. And I need your help is only the tip of the iceberg for learning how to do that. So if you are ready to change your life with men, if you're ready to attract, meet, and keep the right man, You really got to know how to do this. And this is something I help women with every day. And I've had so many women during this time of COVID actually have fun dating safely and get boyfriends. And I'd love to see this happen for you too. So, if you're ready to make changes, if you're tired of complaining what's not working and ready to start focusing on what will work in your life, why don't you set up a complimentary call with me? We'll spend some time talking about what's working, what's not working, the relationship that you ultimately want, and the steps you need to know to get there. All you have to do to set up that complimentary session is to go to this link that I'm going to post below. It's findaqualityman.com/talk to Lisa. And we'll set up a time to talk. What you'll do is you'll tell me a little bit about your dating life, and then we'll set up a time to talk together. I would love to help you change your life. This is not about picking my brain, though. This is about if you are really ready to make change. Because to be brutally honest, I see many of you in this group constantly complaining about the same thing that's been going on for years. Some of you have been here quite a while. And I know that this part about men is a huge part of why you're having such a hard time finding love. And it's time to make a change. It really is. All right, so set up that time with me. Let's get your life changed. I want to see you find love before we get back into winter again and you have to be alone all over again. All right, now let's get to our questions. Hello, Julia. I'm glad you're here and thank you for saying hi. And let's get into our questions today, okay? So Deborah asked the question, you suggested to not stay a long time when you are meeting someone for the first time. What if they live in another state or very far away, where it's not feasible to go out for an hour and then leave? And she stayed 3 days and then left. She had met a guy that was, I think they met at a hotel, if I remember correctly, because this came up last week and I asked her to post something here as well. So, how do you handle it? Okay, so this really comes under the topic of dating men that are somewhat physically unavailable because they're more than a 2 hour car ride, 2 hours to meet them in the middle. You really don't want someone that lives no further than 4 hours from you because you need to share life. And you want to be able to have dinner during the week or lunch during the week and get together on the weekends. When someone lives too far away, you can't do that. So I have told my story before about going to Australia to meet a guy. It was on my bucket list to go to a really cool place, and I threw a guy in, and we had this amazing relationship on the phone, and I get off the plane, and bam, I meet this guy in person, and the chemistry like goes down the toilet. All right, so that's what happens when you date people that are too far away. The best thing to do is to try and get them to come to you, number one, and stay in a hotel, or to really just date people that are within a 2 to 4 hour car ride. It just works the best because when someone's too far away, you're creating an imaginary relationship and all your phone calls, like I did with my Australian, g'day, but it just didn't work. And you also can't live real life with them. So, and you can't get out. It's like you're meeting them and you feel bad because he traveled, you traveled. At least if he comes in, I keep the time limit down like 2 days. If he comes in, stays in the hotel, you have an opportunity to get away from him. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Nancy. I'm glad you all are here. All right. Kathy, you asked a question. When you meet someone for the first time and you know you won't be meeting them again, what is a proper way of letting them know? I assume, Kathy, you're talking about at the end of a date. So, first of all, most guys, if they're into you, they're going to ask you for a second date. and right then and there because they want to get you off the market. This is why so many men push so hard because if they like someone, they want to get the competition out of the way. So, if he asks you out again, what you can say to him is, I feel like, I'm feeling like this is not a romantic match, but I would love to be friends with you because I have always felt it was important to have male friends to hang out with while you're dating so you stay around male energy during dry spells. Or another thing you can do is because you're not in a relationship, you do not owe them very much, just politeness. Is when you get home, you can send an email through the dating site and you can say, it was so nice meeting you. I just feel we're not a match, but I appreciate the time we spent together and I wish you well. That's another way to handle it. Kathy, can you write down there if that makes sense to you so that I know? Or if you need more on that, write that too. And if anyone else has a quick question, just jot it in the comments and I'll answer it for you. In my group, these are the kinds of questions that come up for women, along with who pays, how to deal with a guy that when you want to get him from the email to the phone to to real life, to meeting. There's so many things that come up. And having a system and knowing what to do is a system that gives you what to do, actually. And having support makes such a difference. So if you're ready to make change, oh, good, Kathy, I'm so glad. I'm glad that helped. If you're ready to make change, let's set up a time to talk. I want to see your life change. I want to see you be happy. I want to see you out there having fun now, like my group clients are doing. They're so happily out there dating safely. So if you're ready, let's set up a complimentary time to talk. Findaqualityman.com/talk to Lisa. It's in the comments here, and let's change your life. Okay, so it was so nice talking to you on this Friday. I'm so glad you spent this time with me. And oh, wait, Deborah. Deborah was the first question. So I don't want to restrict myself to men that are close. There are not that many. I am retired and have the time to travel. Okay, so um, first of all, someone else wrote too. Okay, it's easy to get distracted by this conversation over here. So I don't want to restrict myself to that men are close. All right. So when I work with clients, first of all, the thing they do is they create this quality man template that I shared with you earlier as one of the most powerful things that women that find the guy get. It really helps you see the possibilities because there are actually a lot more men closer to you than you think. You just can't see them at this point because you're real keyed in to your type. So it is fine if you don't want to restrict yourself to men that are close, but what's going to happen is you're going to get into these situations like you got into where it wasn't working, and it's very hard to untangle yourself. It would be better if you could see the possibilities of men that are much closer to you, and then find a guy that's willing to travel with you. Now, if you're willing to relocate, that's a different story, and I don't know about that. If you are, you said you just have time to travel, but I guarantee where you are, there are more people close to you. All right, Holly, with COVID, what do you recommend for time frame to meet in person? Well, this is a fantastic time to get to know someone. And so, what my clients are doing is they're starting, obviously on the dating site. Some of them do a virtual call like this, but, on Zoom or FaceTime. It helps you get the opportunity to see what his mannerisms are like. As you can see, I talk with my hands. You probably see motion, even though my hands may not have gone up. But you can see like a little bit of what their home looks like. You see, I have these pretty pictures. I'm actually at my kitchen table versus my office today. And it helps you get a view of what they look like. And then you can go and you can meet at a park and sit 6 feet apart. It's really important to be safe. And I think one of the biggest things that's going to come up for winter too is if you want to really meet a guy, you may have to start getting COVID tests. Right now, they're free. You can, I know here where I am, you can get them at CVS at the Minute Clinic, and you're going to have to figure out how to do it. But that's if you have to meet someone inside, you're probably going to want to get a COVID test. When you're meeting outside, you can stay socially distanced till you feel comfortable. So that's what my clients have done. And what's cool about it is you're taking the sex part out. It's also hard for some women because they're so used to meeting men based on chemistry versus instant chemistry. And here you can't necessarily, depending on how you feel about masks, but it's hard to, you really are staying apart. So you really get to know someone first. I hope that answers your question, Holly. Okay, Joan, isn't telling a man that you aren't interested in him romantically, but that you're willing to be his friend leading him on? Are guys actually willing to do this? Yeah, some are because they actually like you. And some feel the same way about you. You'd be fun to hang out with. Some will say, I can't do that. I'm too attracted to you, and they can't do it. And some are doing it because they know you want to be friends, but they think maybe they can change your mind. All right, Holly, you're so welcome. Deborah, I would something a life mate. And I also look for someone else that is retired. That's fine. I guarantee you there's people within a 2 hour drive of you that are retired and would be willing to go out with you. And that's where that quality man template again comes in because you can start to see the possibilities instead of looking for your type, which we talked about last week. We're looking for him over and over again. All right, now we're coming to the end. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. I believe in you. You can find love. I'm here to help you if you're ready to make changes. Love and hugs to you. Bye.